Hello, today I'm going to be talking about the Mercedes front wing design that they had used for their 2019 car. Mercedes has used the front wing design used by most teams, except Ferrari and Alfa Romeo, in which the front wing starts off very low but goes up as it goes outward. This is so that they can make sure that the air always goes either inward of the tyre or outward of the tyre. They do this because the tyre is one of the most draggy parts of the car without actually creating any downforce. The tyre just is there, so the air hits it and the tyre blocks it. That's exactly what Mercedes are trying to avoid by doing this. So the air which goes inwards goes into the barge board area, which is this area over here. That makes sure that the air travelling will create enough downforce in the middle section of the car. The other parts of the front wing include the end plate over here, which, as you can see, has a tiny little slot gap in it, which is very useful because as the air goes here and tries to avoid the tire, it needs to use that slot gap so that it doesn't just hit the end plate. Another reason we've got the end plate is so that it can support these tiny little winglets on the side of it. Those are to make sure that when the air goes outward of the tyre, that it doesn't collide with the air going outward of the car itself, because that would create lots of vortexes, which are basically air spinning in circles, which isn't very useful in this stage of the car. What it does is it makes sure that the air stays underneath the car and only rises once it's behind the tire. These winglets are going alongside the whole end plate. Another reason we've got these winglets is so that the air going outward from the outside doesn't actually collide with the air traveling through the front wing itself, which would create lots of vortexes again, which is what we're trying to avoid. Another reason we've got the front wing design going up instead of down as it goes outward is so that the air can actually go and hit it. Because, as you can see, the lowest flap on the front wing is almost horizontal, unlike the highest one, which is almost vertical. This is so that the air can actually travel through that wing shape like that. This creates lots of downforce because the air isn't actually hitting it straight on. The air isn't hitting it straight on. Instead, the air is hitting it at an angle, which creates lots of downforce without being too draggy. This will be very draggy without actually creating any downforce, this design. Unlike this design with the wing, which is basically an upside down aeroplane wing. That's why it's called downforce. Downforce is basically the opposite of what airplanes do, which is lift. Airplanes use lift so that they can rise up. For example, in an airplane, the wing would be, instead of being like this, it would be other way around, so that the air can actually hit it and rise up. So that was the Mercedes front wing, the basic design, which also includes a small tiny S-duct over there, which is basically a hole, with another gap over here under Lewis's 44. There's basically like a tube between these two connecting them, so that the air comes and hits the hole, goes through the hole, and gains momentum and shoots out over here. So once it goes through here, the air is going to come out and shoot through here, which of course makes it go faster. And as we all know, the faster the air, the less drag it produces. Or, yeah, that's an easy way of explaining it. So once the air goes out here, it goes onto this halo flap, which is which Mercedes has an extra flap on, which creates additional downforce, or the air goes through and hits the airbox, which also side airboxes here, which come when the air goes through the barge board area, goes up, gains momentum, and goes to cool the engine. Mercedes has been experimenting a lot with their engine cooling lately, as we saw in Austria, where they had massive issues with cooling the engine, but I think that they've got it over with after Germany. So that was the Mercedes front wing design. I hope you enjoyed it and liked the video. Thank you and goodbye.